Tim and Emma's Magical Forest Adventure. Tim was a curious boy, just 10 years old, living in a quiet village by the sea. He loved exploring nature and dreaming of adventures. His best friend, Emma, was always ready to join him. They spent their days climbing trees, playing by the river, and looking for treasures in the sand. One sunny morning, while exploring the cliffs near their village, Tim found something unusual. It was a dusty old map hidden under a rock. "Emma, come look at this," he shouted. Emma rushed over, her eyes wide with excitement. "Is it a treasure map?" "I think so," Tim replied, brushing off the dirt. The map showed a path through the forest, ending at a big X on a hill. "We have to follow it," Emma said, bouncing with enthusiasm. "We might find real treasure." They decided to pack a small bag with sandwiches, water, a flashlight and a rope, just in case. After saying goodbye to their parents, they set off toward the forest, their hearts racing with excitement. As they walked, they imagined what kind of treasure they would find. "Maybe it's gold coins," Tim exclaimed. "Or magical jewels," Emma added, her imagination running wild. "What if it's a powerful sword?" After walking for a while, they reached the edge of the forest. The trees were tall, and the sunlight peeked through the leaves, creating a beautiful pattern on the ground. The air was fresh, filled with the sound of chirping birds. "This is amazing," Tim said, looking around. "Let's find the path on the map." They followed the map carefully, but soon they found themselves lost in the thick trees. "Are we going the right way?" Emma asked, looking worried. Tim checked the map again. "Yes, we just need to keep going straight. It should lead us to the river." After a while, they heard the sound of rushing water. "I think we're close," Tim said, feeling more confident. They soon reached the river, sparkling in the sunlight. But there was no bridge to cross. "How do we get to the other side?" Emma asked, looking at the water. Tim noticed some large stones sticking out of the river. "We can jump across those." They carefully hopped from one stone to the next. Tim made it across first and turned to help Emma. "You can do it. Just take your time." Emma took a deep breath and jumped, landing safely next to Tim. "We did it," she cheered. After crossing the river, they followed the path deeper into the forest. The trees grew thicker, and the light dimmed. They could hear the wind rustling through the leaves. Suddenly, Tim spotted a large hill in the distance. "That must be where the treasure is," he said excitedly. They raced toward the hill, their legs tired but their spirits high. As they climbed the hill, they noticed a large tree at the top. "This is it. The treasure must be under that tree," Tim exclaimed. They hurried to the tree and began digging at the base. After a few minutes, they hit something hard. "I think I found it," Tim shouted, brushing away the dirt. It was a wooden box, old and covered in moss. With trembling hands, they opened it, but instead of gold or jewels, they found an ancient book and a letter. Tim picked up the letter and read it aloud. "To the brave explorers, congratulations. The real treasure is not what you expected. This book holds the secrets of the forest, ancient knowledge passed down through generations. Use it wisely, and you will discover the true beauty of the world around you." Emma looked at the book in awe. It was filled with drawings of plants, animals, and maps of hidden paths. "This is incredible. We may not have found gold, but this is worth so much more," she said. Tim nodded. "Now we can learn about everything in the forest." As they sat under the tree, they started to read the book together. They learned about the different trees, flowers, and animals that lived in the forest. They discovered that some plants were edible, while others could be used for medicine. "This is amazing," Emma said, her eyes shining with excitement. "We can explore even more now." The sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the forest. Tim and Emma realized it was time to head home. They carefully closed the book and started their journey back. On the way, they talked about all the adventures they could have using the book. They planned to find new paths, discover rare animals, and even create their own garden with the plants they had learned about. When they finally reached their village, they couldn't stop smiling. "Today was the best day ever," Tim said. Emma agreed. "And it's just the beginning. We have so much to explore." From that day on, Tim and Emma used the book to guide their adventures in the forest. They became known as the best explorers in the village. They learned about nature, helped others with their knowledge, and inspired other children to explore too. Their friendship grew stronger with each adventure, and they realized that the true treasure was not just the book or the knowledge but the time spent together and the memories they created. As the seasons changed, Tim and Emma found new wonders in the forest, from colorful flowers in spring to the vibrant leaves in autumn. They built a small treehouse where they could read the book and plan their next adventures. One day, while exploring a new part of the forest, they stumbled upon a hidden waterfall. The water sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. "This is the most beautiful place ever," Emma exclaimed. Tim agreed, "Let's keep this our secret spot." They spent the whole day playing in the water, laughing, and making memories. Years passed, but Tim and Emma's love for adventure never faded. They became experts in the forest, teaching others about the plants and animals they had come to know. Their bond remained unbreakable, filled with laughter, joy, and the spirit of exploration. And so, Tim and Emma continued their adventures, finding magic in every corner of the forest and sharing their discoveries with friends. The treasure they found that day was just the beginning of a lifelong journey filled with friendship, knowledge, and endless adventures. Tim and Emma's Enchanted Forest Quest. Once upon a time, in a quiet village by the sea, lived two best friends, Tim and Emma. They were known for their love of adventure and their curious minds. One day, while exploring the cliffs, Tim discovered a dusty old map. Excited, they realized it was a treasure map leading them to a hill marked with a big X. After a thrilling day of adventure, they found a wooden box filled with an ancient book. The book held the secrets of the forest, and Tim and Emma decided to explore these secrets together. New discoveries. The next morning, they met at the edge of the forest with the book in hand. "Let's see what we can learn today," Emma said eagerly. They opened the book to a page about the magical creatures that lived in the forest. "Look, it says there are fairies here," Tim exclaimed. "Fairies? Let's find them," Emma replied, her eyes sparkling with excitement. They followed the directions in the book, which led them deeper into the forest. The trees became thicker, and the sounds of nature grew louder. As they walked, they spotted a shimmering light dancing among the trees. "What is that?" Tim whispered, pointing. They crept closer and found a small fairy fluttering around a flower. She had delicate wings that sparkled in the sunlight. Meeting the fairy. "Hello," the fairy said, noticing them. "I am Lila, the guardian of this part of the forest. What brings you here?"